Today, we are going to be talking about putters. Meow. I'm going to talk about my opinion and my feeling on what the difference is between these two putters and why you may like one over the other. Blade versus mallet, let's do it right meow. Now, when it comes to putters, I personally believe that it's a really personal choice. This is a tool that you need to have a lot of confidence over, you need to feel really great about. When I first purchased this putter, I believe I got it from Club Champion. I was fit for this, I want to say maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and when I first purchased it, I liked it in the fitting studio, but when I got it out on the course, I absolutely hated it. And that's the worst thing to have happen after you spend, however many hundreds of dollars on a new putter and a new fitting. I think buying something that you really like and that you like the look of is probably the first and most important thing. After all, you are going to use this thing a lot, and there's no sense in putting with something that you just don't like the look of. Obviously, I kept it in the bag for this long, so I've grown to love it. We just have to work and figure out some of our issues, but we're there. We're there. Now, the two biggest things when it comes to mallets and blade putters, the biggest obviously being is the design. One is physically a larger head than the other, and that's going to give you some differences. The mallet putters tend to have, different sight lines on the top. They're going to have, a lot more. Ooh, get that going there. They're gonna have a lot, different sight lines on the top where you've got, different lines going this direction, and you can use all sides of the face to line the putter up. Whereas in your traditional blade, you've just got kind of a simple, idea where you've just got a pretty straight face and either one line or a dot on most bladed putters. They're not gonna really have a lot going on behind the face, just very simple. But the thing you often hear about a lot is toe hang, which is basically a way of talking about arc, and the idea, and I say that in quotes because as you'll see, I'm very confident putting with both of these, is that when you rest these on their point, the toe hangs down more for the blade, and the mallet, because of where the shaft is put into the head, it's a little bit more balanced. The whole goal here is that if you have more arc in your swing or your putting stroke, a bladed putter may be better for you, and if you like to go more straight and back or less arc, then maybe a mallet is better for you. I've read from many putting coaches and read many books on this and listened to many podcasts, people who are much smarter than I am in the art of putting. No one's stroke goes back and forth completely perfectly unless you're manipulating your wrist. Everyone's gonna have some bit of arc, but to me, my opinion is I think it's a lot of personal preference. I wanted to go with a blade putter when I first went to get fit, but I just so happened to roll putts a lot better with this one, so this is what I went home with. I'm just gonna hit a couple of 5-foot putts with each of them and just kind of talk about my feelings and what I like over the putters. So when I initially purchased the mallet, I got fit on a sand putt lab, and I was just really able to line the putter up well and make sure the putter head was facing exactly where I wanted to. At the time, it just kind of really helped me see the lines a lot better. And I didn't really like the look of it, I didn't like the shape of it, I didn't like the way that the fangs and everything kind of hang off the putter. Because in my mind, I saw myself putting with, more of a Tiger Woods style blade putter. And personal preference of what we see PGA Tour players playing with plays a lot of impact into, how we like and how we feel about our golf equipment. There's no need to lie or feel bad about that. But as you can see, this is my main putter, so I've kind of grown really fond of working with it. And from 5 feet in, I have no issue pretty much lining up the putts, and you would expect it to be the case because this is my putter. Oh, that's gonna miss. Can't make them all, can you? Now, one of the things that I did notice with the mallet putter for me is that because it is a heavier head and a higher MOI or moment of inertia, I did find myself able to make distance putts better, but that was years ago when I first tested it. I haven't done that since, and I'm pretty confident with the way my putting has improved, I'd probably be able to get adjusted to the blade putter as easily. We're gonna take a look at those both on the course and see if that still rings true. The biggest thing I noticed picking up the blade right after the mallet is obviously the weight. I've got heavier weights in the blade because I do like a bit of a heavier head to get the feeling of the swing. And it's obviously got a different feeling off the face, but that's just because it's made from a different material, and those are all things that can be adjusted from whatever putter brand you choose to work with. Scotty Cameron just doesn't make that feel in a Newport. And not that I like the feel better or the sound or the dullness of it, it's just, there's a difference to it. And what I do personally find is the blade putter for me feels like it just is a lot simpler for me to line up and a lot simpler for me to hit these strokes inside of 5 and 6 feet. And this might actually be a case of us looking in deep and testing that maybe it's time for me to switch putters because there's a better putter option out there for me. Oh, almost missed out. The insert on this one, and this is a Crown & Cameron, it's supposed to be at 33 inches. It's not. I've had it custom fitted to 34 inches. It's just I like the gold on the bottom and the styling. You can buy whatever you like and get it fit to whatever specs you need. I do like the way this feels off of the face. I don't know if you can hear that. Whereas my Mallet has a bit of a more duller sound. So I feel like there's less audible receptive feedback when I hit this, but over the long haul, I've been able to putt better with distance in the past using this. And when I last tested with the Mallet, my putting distance was just not quite there. Let's see what this looks like with a couple nice 8-footers. Not much has to be done in order to get that ball rolling in the right direction, since I feel like there's less work involved. But again, these are all my perceptions and feelings. I would recommend that you test these things out and you go to your local PGA store and you pick these things up and you roll some putts and see how they feel in your hands and how it works to your eye. That's fun. And again, the biggest difference I noticed as I pick up a bladed putter, a Newport 2, is the weight. The weight is just so different. There's a different feeling to it, and the sound of the ball leaves the face. Not that it's a good or a bad thing, it's just different. I am really hot with the Mallet today, and maybe that's an indication that it's time for a change. Of course, I would not use such a short series of putts to make a such drastic change to my equipment. But I mean, 4 out of 4 from 8 feet. Maybe there's something there in it. Let's head over to the range and do some putts on some actual grass, do some distance testing, and kind of take a look at maybe how those 2 putters fit into my bag. And I've also got a really cool training aid that I think you can get some good slow motion capture footage on that will show if the arc thing is true, at least for me. Let's head on over. All right, now that we're back at the course, I'm gonna go ahead and take these 2 putters. We're gonna hit some long distance putts, some short distance putts, and I'm just gonna kind of focus on that, film that, and while that's happening, kind of get a feel for if it's true that my Mallet putter helps me better with putting distance. All right, let's get to it. Gonna move the camera that way so you can get a better look at dispersion. All in all, not too shabby. Hit a few of those way too long, but 4 out of 6 with inside of 2 feet, not too bad. From about 20 feet out or 15 feet out, let me space that. Yeah, about 20 feet. All right, let's hit it with the Mallet or the blade. Let's kind of see what that distance looks like 20 feet out. Again, not much in that. I mean, as you can see from behind me, that's pretty much what, 4 balls all within the same distance, maybe 2 that are a little bit longer. So it's
Probably more so mental, that I think the Mallet putter gives me better distance control. I'd have to test it over a much longer period of time, but just from those short, quick 20 putts, I don't think there's anything different from my feel. And I would say I'm just as likely to putt as well with a bladed putter as I would with a Mallet putter. I'm gonna set up one more golf training aid from Phil Kenyon, and we're gonna do some slow motion with the Mallet and the blade and see if there's any difference in my arc or the way that I'm swinging the putter. I am noticing that the bladed putter seems to be starting on line a lot better than the Mallet, but that could just be the way I'm hitting the putts today. Like, it's 105 degrees outside. I'm about ready to go home, so I don't really know if it's just me or the putter, but I would say that there's probably no difference in those two, the blade or the Mallet for me. I'm gonna go back and take a look at the slow motion footage of the path of the club and see if there's any difference between the arc and the stroke and all those golf terminologies we hear about. I'll see you guys back at the house. I've taken a look at the slow motion footage on the putting arc, and to my eye, I can't really notice any difference. I don't see that the arc is any different with the Mallet versus the blade. Let me just pull these out of the wrapping. I don't notice that there's any difference between the Mallet and the blade with my putting stroke. I did happen to notice that throughout the day, I seem to be able to start this on line a lot better than my Mallet, and I was pulling this a few times, whereas this had a tendency to be straight on line more often than not. I definitely think there might be something there for me to look at. I'm not sure. I do putt very well, but it's always something to look at. Or this could just be an excuse for me to buy something shiny with my tournament winnings. And that wouldn't be bad either, though, would it? But I don't think it would be a bad idea to go back into a True Spec or whatever putter fitter that's out here in Arizona, or golf club fitter, and get on the Sam Putt Lab and have them measure and see if some of the stuff that I'm noticing on camera is actually true. Maybe I am, or the lines of a bladed style putter are suiting my eye better, or maybe there's just something that needs to be adjusted with my Mallet. I don't know, but if there's a possibility for me to putt more confidently or even have just a little bit more confidence over the ball as I'm putting, I don't think it'd be a bad thing to give up. Blade versus Mallet, which one is best? I'm gonna say it's entirely personal. I think if you like the way the putter looks, you like the way it sounds off the face, and it gives you good results, I'm sure there's a way for that style of putter to be fit to your stroke that'll make you more confident over the ball. I'm definitely gonna think about putting this into play. I've got enough putting stats so we can track to see if this will improve my putting over time, and I definitely might consider doing a video of me getting a putter fitting and taking a look at what some of the differences might be from a 3D Sam Putt Lab perspective. What are your thoughts on putters? I would love to know in those comment sections down below. Have you bought a new putter recently? Do you have your old trusty putter that you always go back to? How do you guys in the community feel about your putter? Is it something that you change frequently, or are you like me where you keep it till the grip is basically wearing off? As always, thank you very much for watching my video. Give me a thumbs up, it's the best compliment you can pay me, and leave any feedback in the comments below. I greatly appreciate your requests, and any information that you can provide to help me make better videos is always appreciated. That's all I got for you people. Deuces, let's keep it moving.